students. Welcome to Music Appreciation here at UACCM. I am Mr. Logan Smith. I'm your instructor for this course. And the first thing I wanted to do for this class was to introduce myself and to give you kind of a rundown of what to expect in this class, go over the syllabus, go over how the assignments work, and all of that stuff that you'll need to know here early on. So as I said, my name is Mr. Logan Smith. I am a graduate of University of Central Arkansas for both my bachelor's and master's degrees. I was a band director for about 10 years before taking this job. And I also am a director of music for a small church in North Little Rock, Arkansas. And as you can see behind me, I am in my home studio here. And I also play several instruments, guitar and bass and keyboards and synthesizers and all kinds of stuff. And I have a YouTube channel under the name Logan Jacob, where I post videos regarding electronic music, some of my electronic music, and also some collaborations that I've done with some of my friends in the jazz world. Along with some classical compositions and just everything that I've done over the last few years. If you go to YouTube and search for Logan Jacob, if you're interested in that kind of stuff, it's certainly not required for this class. You can also find me on Facebook. If you search for Logan Jacob Music, go to fb.me/Logan Jacob Music to find my official page there if you care about that stuff. You can also reach me if you need anything for the class. The best way to reach me is smithlogan@uaccm.edu. And there's a link to that email in Blackboard. You can also find it in the syllabus. So like I said, for this video, I'm going to jump over to sharing my screen on the computer, and we're going to go over all of the stuff that you need to know, all this, the syllabus and the course materials, pages, how to navigate through Blackboard and all of that stuff. All right, so I'm going to jump over to the screen here and share everything with you. I just wanted you to have a face to go with the name, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon.
Okay, so now I'm going to take you through the course in Blackboard, what it looks like and what you can expect to find here, so you have a good idea of how to navigate through things and where to find all the materials for the semester. I also want to go over the syllabus and some other important documents that you're going to need during this time as well. So this may be a little bit lengthy, but it'll really get you started on everything that you're going to need to know for the semester. So when you first log in to our course in Blackboard, you are on a Begin Here page, which looks like this. And it has this big What Do I Do on Day 1 information tab. So this has everything that you're going to need to know for the first couple of days of class. So the first thing that you need to do is go over to the syllabus page, and you've clicked on hopefully the video under Watch Now. That's the video that you're watching right now. And then after that, you're going to go to the Announcements tab and click on the blue box that says Join Class if you have not yet joined our Remind, which I sent an email about earlier, but you may not have joined it yet, so you'll be able to find that. And I'll show you that in just a second. And then I want you to go to Course Materials and find Week 1 and start working on that. And I'm going to show you that here in just a moment. So let me first go to the announcements thing and show you what I was talking about there. So all of our course announcements are going to show up over here on the left navigation bar under Announcements. If you click on that, the top announcement will always be this Remind feed. Okay, and this is the same information that goes out through our Remind class, which I sent an email about that earlier that you should have gotten. Now, if you have not yet joined the class, if you click Join Class here, you will be able to subscribe to this feed so that you get a text message whenever I post an announcement. Almost all of the announcements for the class will be posted here. If I need to post announcements for anything else, they'll show up underneath, but then I'll also send you either an email or a remind text to let you know, hey, I had to post a longer announcement. So the remind feed, I can only do 140 characters at a time, so if I need to post a longer announcement, I will post it here and then send an email out for you to go check that. Okay? Now, the first thing it actually says to do is to go to the Syllabus and Important Information tab. So this is that one right here. It used to just say Syllabus, and now it actually has important information in there as well. And you'll notice that there's a lot of stuff in this page. Now, fortunately, you don't actually have to go through all of this stuff in detail. Okay, I just want to show you the most important things that you need to go over right now. So the first one, of course, is the syllabus. We're going to go through that in just a minute. Our course schedule, which is going to show you what topics we're covering from week to week. Our course outline and due dates has the entire course, all of the assignments, tests, quizzes, everything that you need to know for the course and when it's due. That is all found in this document, so that's a very important document. Our course expectations we'll go over in just a minute. It's just kind of some more detailed information that you might need that I didn't put in the syllabus. Our performance assessment guidelines, these are the guidelines for our special performance assessments, and I'm going to talk more about those later on. And then you've got a couple of videos. One of them is how to complete your music appreciation assignments. I use basically two types of assignments in this class, and I made a video to show you exactly how to do those. And I've got a link to this video under week 1 as well, so you can see how to complete those assignments as well. Now, if you are a Mac user and you use Apple Pages to edit documents, which is kind of Apple's version of Microsoft Word, then you need to watch this short video. It's only about 5 minutes long, but you can't upload Pages files into Blackboard for me to be able to read them. It'll let you upload them, but I can't read them. So I need you to be able to export those. So if you are a Mac user, just click on that video, watch it. It's only 5 minutes long, and you'll get the information there. Underneath there, you'll find our college syllabus. I'm not going to get into that. It's the same for every class this semester. It's something new that they've done. They split our syllabus up, so you have the course information on one side, and then the college syllabus for every class is the same, and that's just information about policies that apply to everybody in every class at UACCM. The important dates for fall 2022, that's a good one to go ahead and have on hand somewhere, print it off, stick it in your binder, whatever you want to do. So it has all the important dates, when fall break is, when the last day to drop a class, all of that stuff that you need to know for the fall from now through the new year. And then, of course, the final exam schedule. That has all of your in-person classes, the times that those meet, whenever that exam should be. Okay. And I'm not going to go through those 3 things today. You can click on those and peruse them on your own. But I do want to hit some of these top documents, okay? First off, the syllabus. If you click on that, it's going to open up a Word document. Sometimes it'll go ahead and open in the browser, but for me, it actually downloads it. So I'm going to click and open that now. All right, and magically our syllabus has appeared. Obviously, I cut out me actually going in and opening that, but it'll open up in Microsoft Word. It is a doc that you can then look at. And the reason I use a doc instead of a PDF is because if you have a screen reader, it needs to be able to read it as a document. Now, this syllabus just kind of has the basic information that you need for this class. It has my contact information here. Now, I don't actually have an office anymore, so I don't have an office listed. I don't have office hours listed. I am an adjunct professor. I only teach online, so I don't have a place on campus that I'm at during the day. Okay, but importantly, it does have my email address on here. That is going to be the best way that you can get a hold of me. Okay, if you need anything from me, email me. Okay, I work at a church during the day full time, and I answer my emails all day long. So if you ever need anything, email me. You can also send me a message through Remind if you want to, but those 2 ways are really the best ways to get a hold of me. While we're talking about email, I'm going to show you something real quick. This Send Email tab in Blackboard is not reliable. For some reason, the emails have not been coming through to me, and I had some folks this summer that tried to email me about stuff, and it never made it to me. So I don't recommend that you click on that tab. Okay, if you need to send me an email, I recommend that you just open up your school email and send an email to this address. Okay. Now, if you do send me an email, as the policy for all of our teachers on campus, you need to send it from your university email. Okay. If you send it from, cooldude53@gmail.com, I have no idea if that's actually you or not, and I can't give you any information because of FERPA. All right. So please make sure that you're sending me emails from your actual UACCM email. And if you don't know how to get to that, you can call our help center, or you can, contact somebody at the school, and they'll be happy to show you how to get there. Okay. You've got the information for our Dean of General Studies. If you have any questions for her, you can go by her office in the University Center, or you can shoot her an email or give her a call. Here you have our course description. You can read through all of that stuff on your own. I'm not going to go too much into it. A few prerequisites. Now, important information, your textbook. Okay, you do have a required textbook for this class. It is Roger Kamian's Music and Appreciation Brief, the 10th edition. Now, you need to make sure that it is brief, that it's the brief version that you get. Okay, if you go to the bookstore, they should get you the right one, but you never know. So make sure it says brief on the cover and 10th edition. Okay, now I strongly recommend that you get the ebook version for the web version of this class, because I'll show you that textbook real quick. Let me pull it up. Okay, so if you buy the ebook version of it, you can, of course, pull it up on the web, and there's a Kindle reader, there's an iPad reader, and all that stuff for it. Now, what's cool about this is that even in the very first chapter, when we start getting into this, you've got some extra content that will help you. There we go. So as we get into part 1, you'll notice that it's got videos to explain things. Now, I do have lectures posted, but these videos are much better produced. They're shorter. They'll be generally better videos for you to watch. And then any audio examples, which is what your listening assignments are going to be based on, you'll be able to actually play them from the book. Okay, so while you're reading about it, you can actually be playing the piece of music and be reading the information while you go. And you'll see more about how to do those assignments in the video that I posted. But I strongly suggest that you get the ebook version just because of this. All right, so when you go to the McGraw-Hill website, if you search for that ISBN number, this is the page that's going to pop up. I strongly recommend getting the ebook. You can rent it for $50, which is pretty cheap for a textbook. You don't need this digital stuff, the $100 McGraw-Hill Connect. You do not need that. If you went to the bookstore and you bought the textbook and it came with a card and you paid like $140 for it, you need to go back to the bookstore and tell them you need your money back, because you do not need McGraw-Hill Connect anymore. We're not using that system anymore. Now, if you did already buy the textbook, that's perfectly fine. You can use that for the class, for all the reading. I know some people prefer to have a physical textbook that you can highlight and, do all that stuff, although you can highlight the digital version as well. But, I understand if you bought the physical version, that's perfectly fine. You will have access to recordings of the audio. You'll just have to do it through the lecture videos, okay, instead of just being able to click on the book and listen to it that way. So if you haven't bought the textbook yet, get the ebook version. It's really going to be the best value for you and the best experience for you for this semester. All right, skipping over outcomes and stuff like that. You can read over those. Let's talk about grading and evaluation. There are 4 different categories that you're going to see for each item that's in this course. You've got homework and in-class work, which is all labeled as assignments. Those are 35% of your total grade. These will be things like your multiple choice assignments, your listening assignments, your discussion boards. You'll have 2 this semester. The practice assignments from week 1 that I'm going to show you in just a minute. All of that stuff is going to fall under this 35% of your total grade. Okay. Also, I will drop the lowest 2 grades. So if you miss 2 assignments at some point, it's not going to affect your grade at all. Okay, that's perfectly fine. So don't even stress about that. Also, for all of the assignments for this class, you have 48 hours to turn in any late assignments for full credit. Okay, so almost everything in this class is due on a Monday at 8 a.m., with the exceptions of holidays and stuff like that. So if it's due on Monday at 8 a.m. and you turn it in Wednesday by 8 a.m., you'll still get full credit for it. Now, I don't recommend that you make a habit of turning everything in late, because you're just going to end up behind in the class, and eventually you're going to run out of time because the final exam can't be turned in late, stuff like that. So, but you can turn things in up to 48 hours late if you need to get full credit, and you can turn things in up to a week late for partial credit, and I'll determine how much credit you get based on when you turn it in. So if it's due on, let's say, October 5th, and you turn it in on October 12th, you will at least get partial credit for that. Probably very little if you wait a full week to turn it in, but you will at least get a little bit of credit. The performance assessments, these are 2 major assignments that you're going to do this semester. And again, I'm going to talk more about those in another video. Each of those assignments is worth 10% of your grade. So the performance assessments together are going to be a combined 20% of your final grade. That's a big chunk. Okay, so you need to make sure you get those done correctly and on time. Okay, now I will not accept these late for any reason. It says it right here in the syllabus. It also says it in the performance assessment guidelines. Your due dates are very clear. I even ask you about the due dates in the syllabus quiz, but I will not accept those performance assessments late. So please make sure you get those turned in on time. All right. You'll also have 6 quizzes in this class. About every 2 weeks, you'll have a quiz which will cover a unit of the book, what the book calls parts. So we're covering 6 parts of the music appreciation book. We're not going to cover the 7th part, unfortunately. We don't have time for it. But we are going to cover 6 parts, and you'll have a quiz at the end of each of those parts. There'll be 25 question quizzes, and those will total up to 35% of your total grade. And I will drop the lowest quiz grade. So whatever quiz you bomb, that one will get dropped from your final grade. Okay? And you will also have 2 exams in this class, and those 2 exams together will come up to 15%. That is a midterm exam and a final exam. The midterm exam actually happens a little more than halfway through the semester, and it's going to cover the first 4 parts of the book. Okay, and then the final exam will only cover parts 5 and 6 of the textbook. So it's not a comprehensive final exam. It is just the last little bit. Right, that should make things a little bit easier for you. Now, again, exams will only be made up under extreme circumstances, and you have to work that out with me, and that is up to my discretion to decide if you can make up an exam or not. Okay, I should also point out that you cannot make up quizzes. So if you get if you forget to take a quiz or something like that, just make that the one that gets dropped, and make sure you get all of your other ones in. Okay, you cannot make up quizzes. Okay, now let's talk about attendance. Okay, so attendance for a web class is a little bit different, but it should be the same for any online classes. So if you've had an online class before, this should be very familiar for you. So I'm going to take attendance once a week. Pretty much on Monday mornings, I'll go in and take attendance. And that attendance will be for the previous week of class. Okay, so from Monday to Monday, you'll have a set of assignments that you need to get done. Almost all of our assignments, as I said, are due at 8 a.m. on Monday. So whatever that due date is, that's when I'm going to take attendance. And the way that you get counted as attended is that you have done at least one assignment. Okay, if it's a discussion board or a quiz or an exam or something like that, that counts. Okay, but you have to have done at least one thing in the course during the week to be counted as attended, as present. Okay, if you don't turn anything in during a week that was due that week, then I will count you absent for the week. Now, the way that our online classes work, if you have 2 absences in this class and you are failing the class, so 2 absences plus a failing grade, I will have to drop you from the class and what we call an administrative withdrawal. All right, so please make sure that you're on top of all your stuff, that your grades are up. And really, this is to benefit you. If you get so far behind that you are 2 absences in the class and you're failing, the best thing for you to do is going to be to drop the class, okay? Because you're not going to be able to catch up. These web classes are a little bit more intense. You've got to do a lot of work on your own, and if you get really behind on these, you're going to have a really difficult time catching up. Now, if you are dropped from the class, if you do get a notice that says the administrative withdrawal was done and you were dropped, then you have a week to appeal that. That doesn't go through me. That goes through an appeals committee, and they'll decide whether or not you can come back to the class. If they put you back in the class, then just get your stuff turned in, and we'll continue on. All right. But if you don't appeal it, you will be immediately dropped from the class. Okay. I don't really do excused absences very much, but if you have something going on, or if you say you're in the National Guard and you're going to have a really busy couple of weeks or something like that, shoot me an email ahead of time and let me know. Hey, I'm going to do my stuff for this week. It might just be a couple of days late. Then I'll hold off on counting you absent for that week until you get your stuff turned in. Okay, I try to be a little bit flexible about that stuff. Just let me know how I can help you. Okay, I've already talked a little bit about late work and attendance and all the assignments, so be sure to read about those again. And all the rest of this stuff is pretty much just from the school technology requirements. You got to be able to do this class online. If you don't know how to check your email or open a browser, you're probably going to struggle with a web class, right? That participation policy that we talked about is on there. Response time, I am required to respond to an email within 48 hours. Now, that is 48 business hours. So please be mindful of that. If you email me at 7 o'clock at night on Friday, don't expect to get an email from me until Monday morning sometime. Okay, I do take weekends, and I think that's reasonable. All right, so I have had students before email me at 10 o'clock on Friday night, and then email my dean at 6 o'clock on Monday morning and say, "Well, I emailed him and he didn't email me back." So be aware of that. Work hours are generally when you can expect to get a hold of me. Okay, if you email me during the day, I will probably email you back within a couple of hours. All right, but if it's a weekend, it's probably going to be the next day or a couple of days. All right, you've got information about the final exam. You are expected to use Respondus Monitor for the midterm and the final exam. If that does not work for you, then you need to go. We'll need to do a proctored exam, and you just need to email me and let me know. And of course, I forgot to fill in my dates here, so I'll update that later on. I've got a academic honesty policy, course rationale, stuff like that you can read on your own. I'm not going to get into that now. Okay, so that's the basic stuff from the syllabus. Let's go back over to our course. All right, the course schedule looks like this. It has a week-by-week breakdown of the dates that I am considering for each week of the class. You'll notice that some of those are more than 7 days. That's because of holidays and things like that. I'm going to explain that more when we look at the course schedule. This is just basically telling you what to expect, what parts and what chapters of the book that we're going to be covering during this section. Okay? And it does have the final exam. The study guide will be posted. I'm actually probably going to post that on the 5th of December. And then when the final exam opens and when it's due and all that stuff. Okay. And let's look at the course outlines and due dates. This is a document that you need to save this somewhere that you can get to it quickly. It's one that is going to be really important for you to know.
Okay, if you're watching this in the spring of 2023, then everything that you've seen before this was actually from last semester. So I wanted to jump in at this point for this semester because we're going to go over some stuff that has to do with specific dates. So I'm back over in the Syllabus and Important Information tab in Blackboard. And if you go down here, of course, we've already gone over the syllabus. The next document I want us to look at is the course schedule, which is kind of a week-to-week overview. So you would click on this to open it. I've already got it pulled open over here. So for spring of 2023, this document is basically what we're going to be going over every week. You can see this as kind of a reading guide or an outline for what we're doing every week, so you can kind of know what's coming up. I have each week divided out. Now, these weeks mostly go from Monday to Monday. So, for instance, the 23rd through the 30th is Monday the 23rd through Monday the 30th. And in that first actual week of class, which is week 2, you'll be covering chapters 1 through 4 in part 1 of your textbook. And then the next week, we'll cover chapters 5 through 10. And that will be all of part 1. And then after part 1, you'll have a quiz. Now, I'm going to go over specific assignment dates and all that stuff in just a second. That's actually in the other document. But this one kind of gives you an overall outline of what chapters we're doing, what we're going to be covering from week to week. So these first few days of class, we're just going over the syllabus, introducing you to the course, and all of that stuff. Now, for each week, I will have lectures posted in the week folder in course materials. These are links to old lectures from when I used to teach this class in person. I recorded a few of those lectures so that I could use those for my online classes as well. I may decide to update some of those as we go, but for the most part, those are going to be recordings of in-class lectures. So some of the stuff that I mentioned on there may not apply to you necessarily, but it will at least give you the information that you need for this class. So you can kind of see how we go through here for each of these weeks. Now, you will notice that a couple of these weeks are longer than some of the others, and that's because of holidays and things like that. So, for instance, week 9 and 10 I actually have together because week 10 is actually spring break. Now, it worked out to where
that is also kind of midterm for us. I like to cover the first 4 sections before the midterm because sections 5 and 6 have a lot of information. So your midterm will actually be due on the Monday after spring break, but you don't have to wait until then to do it. As we look at assignments here in a minute, you'll see that week 9, you actually just have the normal amount of stuff to do. It's not like I gave you a bunch of assignments over spring break. I just extended the time that you have to do them because we do have spring break. If you'd like to get them done and turn them in earlier before you go on spring break, then that's fine. You won't have to worry about anything over spring break. So as you go through here, you'll be able to kind of see where we are. There's 3 weeks actually that lead up to quiz 5. Most of the other ones are 2-week sections before we get each quiz. Notice that week 14 has a lot of information on it, but this actually goes pretty quickly. While it looks like a lot of stuff, most of these composers we're just going to kind of touch on. We're not going to go into a lot of detail about all of them. And then your last couple of weeks, weeks 15 and 16, week 15 will cover jazz, popular music, music for stage and screen, have another quiz, our final quiz, which will be quiz 6. And then week 16 is finals week. So that actually goes from Wednesday to Tuesday. So Wednesday, the 10th of May through the 16th of May, which I believe is Tuesday. So that'll basically be when finals are. If you were on campus, you would be taking finals every day of that week. For us, for our online class, I will open the final exam on Wednesday the 10th, and it will be due on the 16th at noon. Okay, I will post a study guide for the final exam on the 24th of April, so that you've got some time to look over that and kind of make sure you know exactly what's going to be on the final exam. Okay. And I'll give you more information about the final as we get to it. Okay, so that is the course schedule document. Now, the next document on the list is the course outline. And these are very similar documents, but this one specifies our weekly assignments and all of the due dates for those assignments. So I'm going to go ahead and jump over to that one. Looks like this. We'll go ahead and make it full screen here. So again, this one has your week-by-week breakdown with all of the dates, and the dates are set up the exact same way. But this is also what assignments are due each week. Okay, so your assignments, most of your assignments are due on Monday. So week 1 goes from this Wednesday, the 18th, through Monday, the 23rd. And the 2 assignments that you have are due on the 23rd. So you do have assignments due this first week. They're very, very simple assignments. The syllabus assignment is a quiz, basically, that is over the syllabus and the performance assessment document. It's a 10-question multiple choice quiz. You will have to use the Respondus lockdown browser, and I do that on purpose to make sure that you know how to use that lockdown browser from the very beginning of class. And if you have any trouble with that, there's videos out there. I've got videos linked in the course material so that you can see how to install it and all of that good stuff. But you can also shoot me an email if you run into some trouble there. Okay, and then practice assignment 1 is just a little 3-question assignment that is like these listening assignments. And again, I have a video, a specific video that is how to complete the assignments in this class. So you'll be able to look at that and kind of see what to do for those. All right, week 2 then starts on Monday the 23rd, and that is when we first get into class. So if you look at the course schedule, you'll see that you have to read Part 1, chapters 1 through 4, and then on this document, you'll see that you've got these assignments that all relate to the first 4 chapters. Now, let me explain how I name assignments here. So you'll notice that your first multiple choice assignment is labeled 1.1-4. What that means is that this is for Part 1, chapters 1 through 4. So the first number on the left side of the dot is the part. The book is split up into 7 parts or units, and then the right side of the dot tells you what chapters that covers. So multiple choice assignment 1.1 through 4 covers the first 4 chapters of Part 1. Listening assignment 1.1 is related to Chapter 1 of Part 1. 1.2 is related to Chapter 2 of Part 1. And then when we go to week 3, you'll notice that the multiple choice assignment still starts with a 1 because we're still in Part 1, but then it covers chapters 5 through 10. And then you've got 2 listening assignments, one for chapters 3 through 8 and one for chapters 9 through 10. So you can kind of get an idea with each assignment where you need to be looking in the book to find these answers and what you need to study before you do the assignments. Okay, and then quiz 1 will be our first quiz. That is due on Monday, February 6th, and that will cover everything from these first sections. Now, each question from these quizzes comes from these multiple choice assignments. So you will have already seen those questions, and I have the multiple choice assignments set up so that as you complete each assignment, you can go back and look and see all the questions, and you can go back and look at that before the quiz to make sure you know the answers for the quizzes as you get to them. Okay, so most of your weeks look the exact same. You've got a couple of weeks and then a quiz, some assignments for a couple of weeks and then a quiz. Now, the performance assessments, that's a separate thing that we'll talk about in another video, but I do have it on here for when it's due. So I strongly recommend that you keep this document handy, and at the beginning of each week, you look at it and say, okay, I've got these couple of assignments due, and then you'll be able to also see, oh, okay, performance assessment 1 is due this week as well. Now, hopefully, you'll have been working on this for several weeks before that, but just in case you get to it at the last minute, you've got it there available to you. Okay. So again, up here with weeks 9 and 10 kind of together, you've got a discussion board due, assignments, quiz 4, and then the midterm exam all kind of due at that same time period, but you have an extra week to do them. Right. And then as you get down to the end, you'll notice that everything is due on the 10th, which is the day that the finals start. Okay, so make sure you get everything turned in at that point. Performance assessment 2 is due then, quiz 6, and any late work that you have that is still viable for credit needs to be turned in at that point. I will not take any other assignments after May 10th. Okay, and then that last week, all you have to do is review for the final exam and then make sure you do the final exam before the 16th at noon. Okay, so that is that document. Now, I just want to kind of come back over here and go over the course materials section of Blackboard, which is where all of your assignments are, all of the important stuff is posted for each week. And some of this stuff will look fairly familiar to you. So if you click on course materials, you again have the what to do on day 1. I copied this over here. I just want to make sure that this was the first thing you saw no matter what you clicked on so that you can see these instructions and kind of know what's going on. And again, my email address is right there. So if you need to email me, just click on that and you'll be able to get to me. Okay. Now, you'll notice down here that there is a performance assessments folder that is available. You can click on that and look over the stuff for the performance assessments if you want to. And then you've got both week 1 and week 2 available. Now, I have it set up so that each week stacks on top of the old week so that you don't have to scroll further down, each week. And I decided this semester to go ahead and open up both week 1 and week 2 at the same time, because I know some of you like to get ahead, especially early in the semester. So I went ahead and made week 2 available to you as well. But if we go under week 1 and we click on this will take us into kind of a subfolder or a page that has all of our information. All right, I've got detailed instructions here. This is literally just copied from that course outline document that we were just looking at. I literally just copied that and pasted it right there. So it's all the same information for you. Okay. And then you'll notice that I have in each folder, sometimes I'll have lecture videos, sometimes I'll have instructional videos on stuff. This one talks about how to complete assignments for this class. This one talks about how to install Respondus Lockdown Browser. And then you have the syllabus quiz, which is the syllabus assignment, is the same as the syllabus quiz. And then practice assignment 1. And I'm not going to go into detail on how to do those because it's all covered in this video right here. So you can get all that stuff as you need it. Okay, so if we go back to course materials, then week 2, again, we'll have the same stuff. The instructions, read, part 1, the first couple of chapters. You've got this lecture video here. And then actually this lecture starts at 38 minutes, so you can skip everything before the first 38 minutes. And then you've got the rest of chapter 1 here, and
chapters 2 through 5 here as a lecture. Again, I've got the how to complete our assignments video linked there so you can see those. And then you've got your multiple choice assignment and your 2 listening assignments all within this one folder. So every week of class, you should click on one of these folders and you'll have all the assignments there that you need for that week. Okay? And if you ever get confused about that, please just let me know. Okay, I think that's everything that applies to just this semester. So I'm going to jump back over to myself now from the past and finish up the video from there. I hope you guys have a great semester, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Okay, so that is pretty much how you can access everything in this class. The gradebook, of course, is where your grades will show up. And you can already see all of the assignments for the semester with their due dates in there. And notice that like some of them are called assignments, some of them are called, now any of these that are called tests is going to go away. That'll actually be called a quiz. The ones that will be called exams, that kind of lets you know where they fall in that grading scale. And then down at the very bottom, you'll see your final grade, and that will update throughout the semester. So whatever that final grade is, that's what you're looking at right now. Just be aware that my grades are weighted. So, if you have only taken one exam, then that's going to skew your grade a little bit. So you can always ask me and I will help you kind of figure out what you're looking at, how you're doing, and all of that good stuff. But I do suggest paying attention to this as well. But don't just click on the assignments from here to do them. Go to the course materials because that's where you'll find all the instructions and any extra information that you're going to need about it. And that's also where you'll find the lecture videos. Okay, so if you see something that says, Part 1, Chapter 2, and has a date by it, that's actually a lecture video from my old face-to-face classes that'll help you get through this stuff. Okay, I think that's everything you need to know to get started. Again, if you have any questions, please email me. I'm happy to work things out with you. If you need to have like a face-to-face conversation via Blackboard, Collaborate, or Zoom or something like that, we can work that out. I have Zoom, of course, so I can use that. And I do have a virtual office in Blackboard, so I can meet with you that way. I don't really do phone calls or anything like that because I don't like to give out my cell phone number to students. But again, you can message me through Remind if you need anything from me that way. All right, I hope you have a great semester. Please let me know if there's anything I can do for you. And you will hear from me again every week. I will post a little instruction video kind of welcoming you to that week and telling you what you need to do for that week. So you'll get a few of those from me throughout the semester. Take care, and I hope you have a good first week of class.